Today, I'm going to talk about co-creating with God. Are you up for that? Yeah. Woo, good. Well, you want to hear the good news? The good news is you already are. We all are. Every moment of every day, every second, we are co-creating with God. But sometimes, I don't know, I find with myself at least, I don't like it too much. I go, is this my creation? If it is, how come? So, anybody feel that way? Or is it just me? Yeah, okay. Well, there are a number of reasons. And probably the first thing to think about is when we don't like it, really, we can look at it as a gift from God in several different ways. One is the gift of contrast. Sometimes we don't know what we want, right? But if we get something we don't like, it helps us to know what we like. And so knowing what you want often comes from living in this world of contrast. The other thing is for learning. Lessons sometimes come in uncomfortable ways. And actually, some of you remember, and if you don't, I'll tell you, Lorena Smith, way back several years ago, was our interim minister for a little while. And when she would come in to give the talk, she would often say, you know, as soon as I figured out what I was going to tell everybody about how to, overcome some obstacles or whatever, they would happen to me. And so they were coming up, all of these so-called obstacles for her to experiment with what she was going to tell us to do and to understand what people are going through. And so it was learning for her. And then sometimes we just put up our own roadblocks. I used to be in sales and for a biochemicals company. And there were 3 of us. We were in the Bay Area. And so I was asked by my company to work with another rep in the Bay Area and follow her around to her accounts because she was having some trouble being able to find people that would be willing to talk to her. We used to sell to university environments for research. Well, so the first thing, what I had to do was be in her car, and we would drive to these various accounts. And when I first got in her car, the car was just jerky, like, And I thought, oh no, maybe we're going to have to pull over and get a tow truck. And then I thought, we'll maybe at least talk about getting it tuned up. And I asked her about it, and she said, no, this is normal. So I peeked over and looked at her feet, and she had one foot on the accelerator and her left foot on the brake, and she was pumping them back and forth. So we jerked our way to the university. Well, sometimes when we put up our own roadblocks, that's what we're doing, so that our road is not so smooth. And it feels like, gosh, God is putting roadblocks in my way, but no, we're like putting up our own. So what are they? Well, one thing, and again, just talking about how much we like our reality, we have filters. And those filters come from all kinds of things, our identity, our upbringing, our beliefs. And they're like like a stained glass window where what we see filters through what we believe. So that's another reason that sometimes we don't like our reality, is because we're just seeing it that way. But also, I tend to have this tendency to want to do it all myself. Kind of like a long time ago, probably before your time, I used to see this commercial on TV, and it was a woman who was cooking, and she was stirring a pot, and her mother comes up behind her and says, "I think it needs a little more salt." And she turned and said, "Mother, please, I'd rather do it myself." And that's kind of how I am. I tend to want to do everything myself, including my creating. And what that does is it complicates things, for one thing. I'll go search the internet and Facebook and get all kinds of different opinions about what I should be doing, and then I try them all and analyze them all, and that just complicates my goals. It causes worry and tension tension causes pain, and pain moves to illness sometimes too. So all of that is not good. We have cross currents. Sometimes we just don't know that two things we want are actually like crossing each other and not corresponding with each other. So I deny God as a partner in carrying out my intentions. Or maybe we don't even have intentions and don't know what we want. Here's what Wayne Dyer says about intentions. In The Power of Intentions, the book, I know that intention is a force that we all have within us. Intention is a field of energy that flows invisibly beyond the reach of our normal, everyday, habitual patterns. It's there even before our actual conception. We have the means to attract this energy to us and experience life in an exciting way. So intentions are all about setting direction and declaring the target. And intentions need to be congruent within yourself. And to do that, sometimes we have to let go of some blockages. Now, getting back to the other rep that I worked with, once I worked with her in her sales environment, her problem was she would walk into a lab and she was dressed in a shiny silk red suit with heels, and she was very friendly and exuberant and outgoing. She would walk into the lab and go, "Hi," and all the people in the lab would kind of like shrink and look down. Maybe they had a microscope they would stick their face in, or they had pipettes in their hands, and she felt rejected. And so what I suggested to her was to, the next time she came back to those labs, to wear not a shiny red suit, but a kind of like a little bit less garish color, and wear cotton or something that's not shiny, and to wear flats. And I had seen her that she had glasses she could wear, and they had black frames, that's what they're called. And so I told her to not wear contacts, but wear those glasses. and she was very resistant to that. She said, well, that's not me. And I said, yeah, I know. And you don't have to do it forever, but try it and see, because these people in the lab, they're scientists and they're shy. And they feel like you're just like coming in and changing their energy just too much. Well, luckily she called me the next day after she had done that. And she was all excited. They talked to me. I walked in and they did. So sometimes you just have to let go of some things. She resisted for when we were talking to change her clothes, and she was resistant to putting on those glasses. Oh, I won't look good. But to let go of that in order to manage her intention of being able to talk to those scientists. She was very successful. And then, of course, once they know her, she can wear all the red she wants. Intentions also need to be congruent with our highest good, love. And also, I just want to point out, they're not for someone else. You can't have an intention for someone else to do something. So with Sylvia, that was the rep's name, her intention was to be able to talk with those people. It wasn't that her intention was for those people to be friendly to her. It was for her to make herself such that she could be in rapport with them. And then it should be in alignment with God and the good of all concerned. You don't want to have intentions that are bad for someone else or anyone. So I guess now probably a good thing to do would be to define God, at least the way I see it. So when I speak of God, I think of the allness, the oneness of everyone, and all the laws and powers that go into making this creation, the grand design, you might say. And so those laws are here, ever present with us, and God is us, and inside of us and outside of us, it is us. Charles Fillmore said this about God. I got this from The Enduring Nature of Love. It was apparently a transcript of a Sunday talk, August 3rd, 1930. Sometimes I think it is unwise to put that word God in, because it carries to our minds the idea of an arbitrary being that will bring us things. And so basically that's not what it is. Here in Unity, we like to do affirmative prayer. And what is that? Affirmative prayer helps us to feel that all is well. It affirms that all is well. It also relaxes us and allows us to let go and let God. And expresses gratitude. And we recognize abundance. So about a year ago, I think it was about a year ago, I got a download. And what I call a download is I can remember now what it was. I actually went unconscious for a while about it. But I had asked to hear from God. I sat down and I actually had a journal and I wrote from God. And then I thought, okay, God, what do you have to say to me? And how can we communicate with each other? I wanted to have a closer communication with whatever God is. And then I wrote some things, and forgot all about it. And about a week later, I opened my journal, and I was looking for an empty page to write on, and I came across it. I thought, oh my God, it was just what I had asked for. And it seemed so deep for me. And lately, I've been, for the last, month or two, I've been just meditating on that writing. And it's soothing for me. It helps a lot. I'm going to read it to you. Precious. All is precious. Being precious. Tenderly hold all beings present. Relax and float to your destiny. Hold nothing back. You are enough, always enough. Open your eyes and watch me speak in reality. That was a lot to unpack. So precious, actually, that word, it brought back to me an experience that I had once. And it was about a congregant at Unity who was angry at me. I was working in the office, and she called me several times to ream me out for forgetting to put her in the directory. And I'd listen to her, but what can I do? And she would call me again. She stayed mad. And it got, I have to admit, a little annoying. So one day, I was walking through Costco, and as I came out of the cold, fresh vegetable section, and she came around the corner and was headed toward me, and we passed, and our eyes met, and we said hello, and with that eye contact, all of a sudden, I just felt this love. And I envisioned ghostly hands caressing her face and whispering, precious. And I felt the waves of that energy go out to the universe. I'm starting to get tears talking about it, but I walked away with tears in my eyes thinking, what was that? So precious was like realizing the God inside of us as I let go of my judgments about her. So then tenderly hold all beings present. When we're in the present, we don't have judgments because judgments come from our past. So when we're outside of judgments, when we're in the present moment, we can tenderly hold all beings. Relax and float to your destiny. Allow God to bring you the abundance that is already here. It's already here. You are enough, always enough. Open your eyes and watch me speak in reality. This is your reality, is God speaking to you and showing how you've created this together. It's feedback.